Hello grade 7 learners! Welcome to another video of Homeroom Guidance Lesson. I am grade teacher Kate, and once again, I welcome you all to our great community. For you to be updated, do not forget to follow us on our online platforms. We are present both on Facebook and YouTube at the Great Teachers Academy. So for today's discussion, we will know more about self-discipline and the ways to be a good citizen. Okay? So for this module, you are expected to, number 1, discuss discipline and child rights, including limitation. So how are we going to develop self-discipline? And of course, ano ba yung mga karapatang ng isang bata or karapatang pantao? Number 2, demonstrate ways on how to develop self-discipline that affect your immediate community. So, paano ba natin pauunlarin ang ating sarili? Especially na maapektuhan natin yung mga taong malalapit sa atin, especially our community and our family. And number 3, show ways on managing personal changes towards self-appreciation. So, ano ba yung mga changes? So, physically, financially, emotionally, ano ba yung mga changes, personal changes na nakikita natin or ginagawa natin in our family and in our community. So again, before we start, we are going to have this free assessment to test your prior knowledge. Alright? So let me read this instruction first. Number 1, I want you all my great learners to get a piece of paper and a pen, and then on your piece of paper, I want you to doodle for a minute without thinking. Just feel free to do it in whatever direction. Just scribble kung anong gusto mong i-drawing, just draw it. And then number 3, after a minute, after you doodle something, try to draw a square, rectangle, circle, and triangle. So after doodling whatever you want, you will draw these 4 shapes naman at the back of the paper. Okay? So you may pause this video to have much time answering this springboard. Alright? Timer starts now. Okay, so after answering this question, activity, I have here some processing questions to reflect on. Okay, number 1, how do you compare the 2 activities? So we have 2 activities, right? The first, in doodling, or you scribbled whatever you want, and then the second activity is you draw the 4 different shapes that I have mentioned earlier. So how will you compare those 2 activities? And then number 2, what did you feel when you were doodling and drawing figures? And then number 3, between the 2 activities, what needs certain control or discipline, and why do you think so? Okay? Again, you may pause this video so you have much time to answer these questions. Timer starts now. Alright, so thank you grade 7 learners for participating in our activities. Now let's proceed with our discussion. Again, our discussion is all about developing self-discipline and to discuss ways on how to be a good citizen. So this is becoming the better you. Okay? Alright, so I want to read this first paragraph first. So nobody's perfect, as the saying goes. We are all capable of committing mistakes. We have our ugly moments. Despite those unpleasant experiences in the past, we learn new things and eventually make this as our markers of improvement. So I want you to remember this line. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. So lahat tayo, even me, is capable of doing mistakes. No, so nagkakamali din si Teacher Kate. Okay? Nagkakamali rin po ako. May mga bagay na hindi ko naiintindihan sa una at hindi ko rin intensyong gawin, pero nagagawa ko. Pero ang kailangan natin tandaan, ang mahalaga ay ginagawa natin tong markers of improvement. Ibig sabihin, after nating magkamali at after nating ma-realize yung pagkakamali natin, hindi na natin to uulitin sa susunod pa. Okay? Bagkus, ito yung magiging palatandaan na, uy, kapag ginawa mo to, meron kang maapektuhan. Na, uy, kapag ginawa mo to, meron kang masasaktan. Na, uy, kapag ginawa mo to, hindi ba't hindi ka natuto? So, again, we are capable of committing mistakes, but it doesn't mean na hindi tayo pwedeng mag-improve. These mistakes are markers of improvement. Okay? So again, it takes certain maturity and openness to develop self-discipline. We have to be fully aware na kapag may ginawa tayong bagay, or kapag nag-act into actions tayo, or behave in different ways, or different situation, kung paano tayo nagbe-behave in different situation, may mga taong pwede tayong maapektuhan. Like for example, nagagalit tayo, gusto nating maging alone, gusto nating i-isolate yung sarili natin. With that, sa tingin mo, wala bang mag-aalala? Hindi ka ba hahanapin sa bahay kapag in-isolate mo yung sarili mo? So again, we have to be mature. We have to control our behavior, our actions, because this action may affect our family or even the people in the community. So, in order to have self-discipline, we must take control of ourselves, particularly our behavior, emotions, and impulses, from committing thoughtless and irrational behavior. Tayo kasi kapag galit tayo or even sobrang saya natin, meron tayong mga bagay na hindi nating intention gawin. Na yun pala, pwedeng magbunga ng masama or pwedeng magkaroon ng negative impact sa mga taong nakapaligid sa atin. That's why we need to understand what self-discipline is. Now, it requires awareness to fully understand how it works. Before we develop self-discipline, we have to be aware on the people around us. We have to be aware on our behavior. We have to be aware of who will affect this such behavior. Okay? Now, as part of having self-discipline, it is also important that we know the habits of a good citizen and the children's right, because it can serve as a guide in your development of self-discipline. Again, as we go through our discussion later on, I will share with you some tips on how to be a good citizen. And of course, we will also be discussing the different rights of a children. So ano ba yung mga karapatan ng isang bata? Kasi once you have understand this, once you have become fully aware of these rights, magiging guide na siya kung paano mo i-develop ang self. Okay? So, there are many good habits that impact your immediate community. The following are just some of them. Okay, number one, we have to follow the policies set by the community and government. So when we say policies, these are the laws being implemented in our community and government. Like for example, tumawid sa tamang daanan, bawal magtapon dito, or bawal lumabas ng ganitong oras. So these are some of the policies which are set by the community and government. So bakit merong ganito? Kasi they are responsible for the peace and order dun sa ating lugar o sa ating kapaligiran. And once na violate natin tong policy na to or itong law na to, it will not affect you lang. Hindi lang ikaw ang maapektuhan. It will also affect the community, the people in the community. That's why you have to be responsible and accountable of your actions. Okay? Next is, try to find ways how you can help others in your own capacity. So when we say own capacity, ito yung mga kakayahan mo, kapasidad mo. Ano ba yung kaya kong gawin? And with that skills, with that talent, with that interest, paano ko matutulungan yung isang tao? Okay? Now, letter C, always be respectful and considerate to others. This is very important to remember. Kasi, especially in our community, kasi hindi natin alam kung ano yung pinagdadaanan ng mga taong nakakasalamuhan natin. Possible na sobrang lungkot niya, possible na may problema siyang dinadala, possible na meron siyang kaaway, nakatampuhan. So tayo, as students or members in the community, we should always respect them and to be considerate. Kasi malay mo, ikaw pala yung magpagaan doon sa problema niya. Because you are being respectful and considerate to them. Letter D, be responsible and accountable to your actions and decisions. As mentioned earlier, may mga maaapektuhan sa pwede mong gawin or sa kung paano ka mag-behave sa isang lugar o sa isang community. So you have to be responsible and accountable of those actions and decisions. Letter E, preserve and protect nature. This is very important. And pwede mo siyang gawin as simple as reduce, reuse, recycle, or even yung pagtatapon ng pagtatapon ng basura sa tamang basurahan, or even picking yung mga kalat sa labas na kaya mo naman palang itapon. So that's how we preserve and protect the nature. Kasi once we preserve and protect the nature will protect us as well. Sobrang helpful nito, especially in our community. If we are being responsible in our nature, in our community, then this community will also protect us as a return. And then be part of the solution and not the problem. This is a very nice statement that we should always remember. So, ikaw dapat as a people in the community or as a person in the community, you should always be part of the solution. Ibig sabihin, kasama ka sa magre-resolve ng problem. Hindi ka dapat part ng problema. Meaning, kasama ka sa nagpapagaan ng problema at hindi ka kasama dapat sa nagpapabigat sa problema. Okay? And last but not the least, decide based on data and logic. This is very nice, especially when you want to be strategic with your actions. Say, for example, the community needs more plant. So, baka yung resolution is to really plant trees. Then, as a member of the community and as a responsible member of the community, mag-volunteer ka for tree planting. So, something like that. Okay? Now, let's now discuss human rights or children's rights. So it says here that human rights are the same for all human beings, regardless of their sex, race, color, language, national origin, age, class, religion, or political beliefs, existing capacities, and abilities. Human rights cannot be taken away. They give people the freedom to choose how they live and how they express themselves. They also guarantee people the means necessary to satisfy their basic needs, such as food, housing, and education. Moreover, human rights protect people against abuse. So sabi dito, human rights are all the same for all human beings. Ikaw, siya, ako, tayo, pare-pareho tayo ng karapatan. Hindi pwedeng magkaiba, iba yung karapatan mo sa karapatan ko. Regardless of our sex, babae ka man, lalaki ka man, matangkad ka man, kinulang ka man sa height, Catholic ka man, iba man ang religion mo, pareho man tayo ng paniniwala in terms of politics, nakakapaglakad ka man or hindi, we all have the same human rights. And remember that it cannot be taken away. Hindi mo yun nakukuha sa akin. Simula nung sinilang ako sa mundo nito, karapatan ko na yun. At never siyang makukuha sa akin. Remember that, class? It will not be taken away from you. Okay. Let's now discuss what are the rights of the child according to Presidential Decree 603 or the Child and Youth Welfare Code. So, ang una daw nating karapatan, every child is endowed with the dignity and worth of a human being from the moment of his conception, as generally accepted in medical parlance, and has therefore the right to be born well. So, this is very simple. Lahat ng bata, lahat ng kabataan ay may karapatang maisilang at magkaroon ng pangalan at nasyonalidad. As simple as that. Nasa loob ka pa lang ng tiyan ng nanay mo, may karapatan ka ng mabuhay at isilang sa mundo. Number 2, every child has the right to a wholesome family life that will provide him with love, care, and understanding, guidance and counseling, and moral and material security. Dito naman, tinatakal natin ang pagkakaroon ng isang mapayapang tahanan at pamilya na mag-aaruga sa kanila ng gusto. So lahat ng tao o ng kabataan ay may karapatang magkaroon o makatanggap ng pagmamahal, pag-aalaga, pag-unawa, galing sa kanyang pamilya. Number 3, every child has the right to a well-rounded development of his personality to the end that he may become happy, useful, and active member of society. Ibig sabihin nito, meron siyang karapatang maging masaya, gamitin ang kanyang kakayahan o interes or capability upang maging active sa isang society. Okay? Number 4, every child has the right to a balanced diet, adequate clothing, sufficient shelter, proper medical attention, and all the basic physical requirements of a healthy and vigorous life. So for this one, sinasabi nito na karapatan ng bawat kabataan na magkaroon ng wasto at sapat na pagkain, pagiging malusog, at active. So hindi ako nakakakain ng 3 beses sa isang araw. Dapat nakakakain tayo, karapatan nating maging malusog at meron tayong tinitirhan. Number 5, every child has the right to be brought up in an atmosphere of morality and rectitude for the enrichment and the strengthening of his character. As simple as karapatan ng isang kabataan na maunlad, na mapaunlad ang kanilang kakayahan. Okay? Number 6, every child has the right to an education commensurate with his abilities and to the development of his skills for the improvement of his capacity for service to himself and to his fellow men. So this is related to number 5. So it's more of nurturing your skills, your abilities, strengthening of what you can do. Number 7, every child has the right to full opportunities for safe and wholesome recreation and activities, individual as well as social, for the wholesome use of his leisure hours. Dito, karapatan ng mga kabataan na magkaroon ng pagkakataon or magbigyan ng pagkakataon na makapaglaro at makapaglibang. So, hindi lang mabuhay sa mundo, hindi lang kumain or hindi lang magkaroon ng malusog na pangakatawan, but also na makapaglaro at makapaglibang. Number 8, every child has the right to protection against exploitation. Ayan. Improper influence, hazards, and other conditions or circumstances prejudicial to his physical, mental, emotional, social, and moral development. So, on this one, may karapatan ng mga kabataan na magkaroon ng proteksyon laban sa pang-aabuso, panganib, at karahasan. So again, we have this kind of protection. Number 9, every child has the right to live in the community and the society that can offer him an environment free from pernicious influence and conducive to the promotion of his health and the cultivation of his desirable traits and attributes. Dito, may kakayahang ang kabataan na maipagtanggol at matulungan ang gobyerno. Number 10, every child has the right to care, assistance, and protection of the state, particularly when his parents or guardians fail or unable to provide him with his fundamental needs for growth, development, and improvement. So kapag hindi na tayo kayang buhayin ni parents or ni guardians, nandyan ang gobyerno or ang government para magbigay ng care, assistance, and protection. 11, every child has the right to an efficient and honest government that will deepen his faith in democracy and inspire him with the morality of the constitute authorities both in their public and private lives. So in this one, karapatan natin magkaroon ng efficient and honest government. So dapat transparent ang ating government. Number 12, every child has the right to grow up as a free individual in an atmosphere of peace, understanding, tolerance, and universal brotherhood, and with the determination to contribute his share in the building of a better world. So as simple as we have the right to be free and express our feelings or have this freedom of expression. So those are the rights of the child according to Presidential Decree 603. Now, let's have this test or post-assessment of what you have learned. Okay. So I have here different questions. So how are self-discipline, good habits, and children's rights connected? Do they affect one another? Make a simple symbol to show this and write your explanation below in a piece of paper. So you can pause this video so you have much time to answer this question. Okay? Timer start. Alright. The activity is already done. Let's now have this slide for a simple reflection. So let's have this reflection. So I have here this question. Why is it important to practice self-discipline in the school, family, and community? So why do you think it is important to practice self-discipline? So I think having a self-discipline aims to improve the way you deal with others at home and in your community. I think that's the main reason kung bakit kailangan nating magkaroon ng self-discipline or self-control. Kasi lahat ng pwede mong gawin or lahat ng pwede mong i-act or maging response sa mga bagay-bagay or situation can really affect the people around you. That's why it is really important to practice self-control, to practice self-discipline, to be aware of what's happening, to be aware of your actions, your emotions, your words, because words are powerful, and these words can really affect or have an impact, negative or positive, to the people around you. So again, that's the importance of having a self-esteem. All right, there you go. Now we are done with our lesson. Thank you again, my great learners, for listening. I hope to see you again to my next video classes. If you love what we have discussed, please leave a comment where I will be happy to read it. Promise that I will be more inspired in sharing our lessons in our great community. Again, for more updates, you can follow us on YouTube and Facebook at The Great Teachers Academy. Remember, here in the Great Teachers Academy, we make complex lessons easy to understand. Goodbye and see you!